Hey Buffyverse fans, we all love it when things go a little bit Twilight Zone in our TV. Well, unless your name's Buffy Ann Summers, I guess. Today I am here to talk about Buffy Season 6 Episode 5 Life Serial. This episode originally aired on October the 23rd, 2001. It's directed by Nick Marak and it's written by David Fury and Jane Espenson. The Nelson rating, it got about 5.68 and holds a respectable 7.8 rating on IMDb. In the plot, Buffy's powers are tested by Jonathan, Andrew and Warren, who seek to expose and exploit her weaknesses with 3 different tests as the Slayer looks to move on with her life, attempting a return to education and the workplace. This is an excellent episode of Buffy and one of the standouts for Season 6. It plays with a unique gimmick which has been used in other episodes of TVs, but does put its own Buffy spin on it, and it serves to add to the characters and the overall season storyline. It starts with Buffy returning from her secret meet-up with Angel with a fake KFC-style brand bucket of chicken for the gangs, but they're already eating. They do indulge though. This secret meeting with her and Angel is a crossover that happened off screen, but it does tie to the Angel episode Carpe Notrum, which comes in season 3 of that show, an episode I'll be reviewing one day. After Angel got a call from Willow informing him that Buffy was back in the land of the living. They've been discussing Buffy's future plans, not just money-wise, but her bigger life plans also. So Buffy agrees to try college again with Willow and Tara, and Buffy's interest in higher education and still trying to keep it as a part of her life is something I really respect in later seasons Buffy, even though there's so many traps which is preventing her from maybe doing it because, hey, TV show. This is one of the Evil Trio's best episodes, if not their best episode, and there's some fun to have with them hatching this plan, but also some fun jokes about how they're not very good at being stealthy. The whole thing with the Death Star Wars reference, Warren getting pissed off at Andrew's symbol, drawing a little too much attention to themselves, as does one of them setting off our alarm, which is a Star Wars reference. Warren getting peed off at Andrew is fun in this episode. I'm not the biggest fan of Warren, but, you know, whiny, pissed off Warren is quite entertaining to watch.
Camera's hooked in. Super wide angle, infrared auto iris, plus 6 types of audio matrix monitoring that's filtered through a dual quad DVR system and a terminal.
Yeah, fine. Just tell me. Are you sure with all this stuff that we'll be able to watch Buffy without her noticing us?
Absolutely. I mean, she'll never even know. What the hell is that?
Death Star, dude. Wicked, huh?
Thermal exhaust port's above the main port, numbnuts.
For your information, I'm using the Empire's revised designs from Return of the Jedi.
That's a flawed design.
Oh, hey! Okay, the thing is, since we're messing with the Slayer, who could pummel the 3 of us into a sludgy substance, it might be a good idea for us to not draw attention to ourselves.
Buffy feeling out of place in higher education, having taken a time out for a while, is totally understandable, especially since Willow and Tara have been in it the whole time and are very much on top of this stuff. Also, Buffy's comment about them knowing the teacher's name, Dave, and feeling that's like an alien thing is pretty funny also, because it's something I can relate to, because I did sort of befriend my teachers, that they were people you could talk to on their level and hang out with outside of school hours. Not all of them, of course, but there were teachers who I did consider friends, so I kind of see things a little bit from Willow and Tara's perspective, but it makes sense that Buffy feels isolated, having been out of the education scene for a while. Tara scores big pop culture points in the episode for her very 2002 SpongeBob SquarePants reference, by the way. So diving into the test, it is very much segmented like a Twilight Zone anthology series of stories. Each one offers up a variety and flavour to the episode. It has sound logic in how the trio are using it to test Buffy's skills whilst learning more about her and sapping her strengths in the process, thinking of future battles. It has decent visual effects for the time. Even the campness of Jonathan's suit is intended to be comic. Genre director Nick Marak does a smooth job of tying things together and keeping the pace up at the same time. The plot smartly picks holes in workplace sexism. With Buffy on the building site scene, I like the touch of the worker who actually doesn't talk down to her at first and dismiss her as a girly girl, but who later turns on her as soon as something weird happens. And Xander's also really cool in the scene, the way he handles the situation. Like, he's put in a tough spot because of the demon showing up. Absolutely not Buffy's fault. But he also handles it fairly and says, I do believe you, but something's going on, you need to figure it out. And Xander's pretty smart in the scene because he actually tells Buffy to go to the magic box and maybe work with Giles to try and figure out what the issue is, and that nicely leads into the third test. A lot of the Buffy goes to work stuff and life is the real big bad in season 6 is a bit too on the nose at times, definitely a mixed bag which leaves some fans cold. But in this episode it works to perfection because it goes side by side with the gimmick perfectly. So that brings me on to the third and final test of the trio, which perfectly, I think, puts a surreal spin on the mundaneness of retail with the genius mummy hand looping plot. Sarah Michelle Gellar really nails these scenes. Enjoy.
Buffy, word in your ear. While I was running the store, I found it useful to imagine myself back in the library. If you concentrate on service and not on making a sale, you're more likely to have a satisfied customer.
Guess I'll have to find my own style.
Yes, yeah, quite right.
That woman. Go sell her something.
Miss, which candle creates a more, romantic atmosphere?
Lemon seduction. Yeah. Essence of slug. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I help you?
I need something for a prosperity spell. I heard you have it. A mummy hand?
Yeah, actually, I saw one downstairs. It's kind of hairy, though. Maybe it was a daddy hand. I'll just get it. Petrified hamster with eyeballs and honey. Dagger of Lex. Oh, ancient mummy hand. Oh! And you get the Dagger of Lex for free with it. See the inlaid mother of pearl underneath the black oozing goo?
This hand is dead. The power is gone. I'm not giving you money for this.
Oh, it's just playing dead. Little scamp.
Buffy, a word in your ear. To imagine myself back in the library. If you...
We did this just now. Giles, something is happening.
Yes, quite right.
Oh, you did it, dude. She's looping.
Don't worry, don't be nervous. Do what I do. Just picture yourself naked.
Hi, I'm looking for something really specific. I heard you carry it.
A mummy hand. You look like the mummy hand type. Sorry, I can't get that for you.
I called here 20 minutes ago and someone said you had one.
Yeah, but there's a thing happening.
You have one, and I was told I could buy it, and I'm sorry, but I'm really gonna have to hold you to that. I'm not leaving until I get a mummy hand.
I'll have to get it for you.
Smart. So she's figuring out the game. Satisfy the customer. Well, she might just have you beat there, Stretch.
No way. She hasn't even started yet.
I just hope she solves it faster than Data did on the ep of TNG where the Enterprise kept blowing up.
Or Mulder in that X-Files where the bank kept exploding.
Scully wants me so bad.
And while we're on that note, it's a long-running fan theory that the character of Andrew is secretly gay, and that he might even have a crush on either Warren or Jonathan. Maybe both, who knows. There's a lot of male bonding going on with the trio over season 6, so that could be part of it. But there's definitely hints that he could be coded as gay and maybe not comfortable coming out, or maybe if the writers intended him to be gay, they might have got a little bit nervous about making it a part of the storyline because of reactions at the time. Who knows? But it's something they play with during the show, it seems. It seems that at the very least they are hinting at it to play with the audience. In this episode, they do the best to really downplay it, but then it does start to come out a little more in future episodes, and there's plenty of fun stuff in this with the trio. And speaking of the homoerotic hints, how about Aunt Jonathan's "Stop playing with my magic bone"? It doesn't get any more homoerotic than that. It's one of the lines of the episode. I'm going to get to my favourite line of the episode a bit later. Spike kitten poker scene may seem a bit much, but it is actually quite a light cap-off of some of the other shenanigans, and it's a nice Buffy and Spike moment. It's the debut of the underrated Clem character, who is one of the more underrated in the later seasons of the show and has a very likeable personality. The actor James Leary plays him perfectly as an adorable underdog. There's some fun scenes with Dawn and also Spike, because you get the impression him and Spike hang out a lot and they are actual friends, and because of some of the harshness of later seasons, Spike, having someone like Clem around probably gives him a little bit of a softer side at times. Plus, Sarah Michelle Gellar's comic reactions are spot on. As always, her and Masters have really good chemistry. Spike and Buffy drinking together later in the episode with the old school flask, love it, is both tender and novel, since you hardly saw main characters get drunk in the earlier seasons of the show. Switch to a new network could be part of this, plus a more adult season 6. At this point, the Spuffy relationship hasn't crossed any lines, for me at least.
We're heading for the back room, Ted. Where the real action is.
Fuck it. These are the lowlifes.
Fine, a little louder.
You win?
He kills our kind. Don't let him in.
Ask him if he's heard about the... You're gonna play cards?
These guys talk while they play. We'll get more information out of their mouths than out of gaping holes in their corpses.
Annie up.
You play for kittens?
So, who's gonna advance me a tiny tabby? Get me started. Come on, someone's gotta stake me.
I'll do it.
Come with me.
You cleaned us out. No one's that lucky. Yeah. I'm starting to think you cheat. Me?
I cheat. He's got X-ray vision.
I'm not using it. You're not the ones who are cheating. I had no idea that was there. I could have leaned on that days ago. Her skin's so tight, I don't even know how you can look at her.
Leave your winnings and get out.
I'll tell you what you didn't count on. Me and the bird.
Getting into a bar fight? I'll beat him up for information, great, but not to defend your rights to gamble for kittens, which by the way, is stupid currency. You are gonna beat heads and fix my life. But you're completely lame. Tonight sucks. And look at me. And look at stupid Buffy. Too dumb for college and freak Buffy. Too strong for construction work. And my job at the magic shop? I was bored to tears even before the hour that wouldn't end.
Hit the demon world. Ask questions, throw punches, find out what's in the air.
I'm not kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. And your life's gonna get a lot less confusing when you figure that out.
You have had so too much drink. At this point, I am cutting you off.
You're not a school girl. You're not a shop girl. You're a creature of the darkness, like me.
This intimate meeting of the minds is a nice little cap off of the episode, what's gone before, and Buffy's chance to air some of her feelings about it, because yes, there's supernatural shenanigans at work, but it also maybe points to the fact that Buffy is in a place where she's struggling to readjust to life, and the idea of living a normal life in higher education and the workplace. And this is very much Spike's point of view of you don't belong in those situations. He's almost being open about the fact that she maybe will never have a normal life. And I know some of this stuff is going to seem very harsh and pointed when you see where the season leads between them and how toxic the relationship does become. But at this point, I do think Spike is giving her very sensible advice. The idea that she does need to unwind at points, it's almost like the show is showing that, hey, these characters should be allowed to drink and unwind at times, like the rest of us also. And I think it's a point for Spike too, because we're seeing him in a more lighter context playing demon poker and engaging with other demons, whereas it was almost, in the past, he was very much a solitude figure, or if he was working with someone, it was someone where they were banding together for a purpose, which was to bring down Buffy and bring down the rest of the world. Actually socialise with demons, have nothing tied up in it almost. I think that's a different side to Spike, so it's showing that he needs that downtime as well. So it's a nice little scene with lots of fun interactions, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, this is some of her best comic work, I think, in this episode. Another standout scene in this, which I just love, is the trio of nerds fighting over who the best Bond is, which is even funnier because they return to it in two chunks between the Buffy scenes. So the idea is that they've been arguing for a very long time over it. And this is the best line of the episode, which actually comes from Andrew, funnily. But Timothy Dalton should get an Oscar and beat Connery over the head with it. Warren also slams Moonraker, which is a very diversive Bond film. The deep cut of pointing out that The Living Daylights was written for Roger Moore and not Dalton was also cool. This episode may be the best use of the trio, as I said, but the pop culture overload does get a bit much at times. More on that in other episodes. One other thing, Jonathan's devil suit makes him look a mix of Hellboy and the Jersey Devil, and whenever I think of the Jersey Devil, I can't help but think of the X-Files episode and now What We Do in the Shadows. So, fun stuff. So to round up for this episode rating, I was just going to go with a straight 8 out of 10 because it's a really good episode, very enjoyable, does some important character work, and it really makes the gimmick work with the ongoing themes of the show and the characters. But you know what, I'll be positive because this is one I return to quite a lot, and especially for later seasons, the final 2 seasons, where you maybe don't get as many classic episodes as the earlier seasons. So I'm going to give it a bit of a bump and go 8.5 because it is probably one of my favourite episodes. My MVP of the episode, it has to be Buffy, really, because she's such a central part, and It's a big episode for her in the season, not long after returning to the grave, her trying to adjust, her trying to find herself. The interactions with Spike, as I said, are quite entertaining as well, and they serve a purpose. Sarah Michelle Gellar doing some wonderful acting, having to show the whole range. And I think some really great comic work, which you don't always see even credit for. Like, a lot of the praise tends to come more for her dramatic work on the show, but she is very funny with some of her line deliveries in this episode. So, yeah, Buffy is the MVP. I might actually give it Jonathan as like the runner-up, because I do think he has a good episode. It's a strong episode for the trio in showing off what they can do, what their game plan is, and a lot of fun. And I always enjoyed Danny Strong, even though some of the writing with this trio isn't always the best. So Danny Strong is always very entertaining to watch. I'll give him runner-up. Least valuable player, I'm not sure there really is one. I'm going to say Andrew, maybe just because out of the three he has the least to do. And again, Andrew does have my favourite line, so maybe it's hard to hate him too much in this episode. He is a character that grates on me as the show goes on, but I guess if I had to go least valuable player, I might just give it him, just because he's the one in the middle who maybe doesn't stand out as much. Scene of the episode, well, it's the mummy hand scene, but the runner-up is probably the Bond bitch fight between the nerds, and I actually do really enjoy the Spike Buffy stuff at the end. Line of the episode, I'll say it again, it comes from Andrew. Timothy Dalton should get the Oscar and beat Connery over the head with it. Pop culture reference, I'm gonna have to give it to Tara for her SpongeBob SquarePants reference, because that is so on the money for 2002. Coming next time, the 6th episode of season 6. It's all the way, and it's the 3rd ever Halloween episode of Buffy. Dawn discovers her crush has a deadly secret. Xander announces his engagement to Anya, and Tara worries about Willow's reliance on magic. So plenty going on in All the Way, which will be the review next time. And I've got to say, there's still some big, exciting episodes to come this season. On the way, there's quite a bit happening in the first half of the season. But let me know what you guys think of this episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Share me out on social media. You can support me patreon.com/borednow, or become a channel member by hitting the join in button. You can make a one-off donation at the PayPal account or at the Super Thanks, and it helps this all keep going. Also, let me know which test you liked the best in this episode. Which of the 3 tests that the trio came up for Buffy was your favourite part of the episode? What was your scene of the episode? All the rest of it. Let me know, guys. Keep watching TV, keep watching Buffy, and I'll be back with more of this scene. Take care. Bye, guys.
Get the second one free.
Ghouls are supposed to take the night off.
That was your first kiss.
But evil never rests.
She's out there by herself.
An all-new Buffy.